tifu by going on an anti-Semitic rant to my 4-year-old, by user mapuches_on_fire. This happened yesterday, but I didn't realize what I had done until this morning. I was in the car running errands with my 4-year-old son when he suddenly asks, "Why are some people jowlish on Christmas?" I vaguely remembered him watching some cartoons where bad guys want to steal Christmas, and I figured he meant jealous. So I told him, "Well, those people are not nice, and they're greedy, and they want all the toys for themselves and not share, and I don't want you to be like that at all." He seemed to accept this and the conversation moved to something else. This morning my husband asked me if I told our son that Jewish people wanted all the toys to themselves. I immediately realized what happened. My son's daycare celebrated Hanukkah last week by coloring menorahs and making dreidels, and he was curious about Jewish people. TLDR, my son asked about Jewish people, but I thought he said jealous people, and I explained how greedy those people are. TIFU by having a horny Reddit hookup, by user 557473355346786. Edit, Part 2, the update. Okay, so this happened several days ago. I got out of a relationship about a year ago and impulsively went searching on Reddit in the r/r4r. I live in a small town in the US and it hasn't been easy for me to meet anyone because of restrictions and my own fear of getting COVID. I end up finding this girl that seems kind of intriguing. We come from similar cultural backgrounds and seem to have similar interests in everything, and our conversations were going well over text. Plus, she was located 15 minutes away from my house. We ended up meeting in person and things started out normal. We chilled, had dinner, and watched Netflix. All of a sudden she starts touching me intently. Given that it's been some time since anyone has shown me any affection, I'm all for it. Things escalate. She starts grabbing me, squeezing me, holding me close. Not terrible, this is where things take a turn. Then she started talking about how she was raped, on the first date. I'm like, okay, let's try to not talk about that. It's a downer and not something I'm comfortable talking about, at least not now. So then the conversation turns to how she used to self-harm. Okay, I repeat the same thing because I want to try and keep it positive. Next she starts talking about her long history of mental illness. I feel terrible at this point, but that shitty feeling doesn't negate my horniness. Next thing I know, I've finished my cocktail and we've started making out. I end up having sex with her and giving her a ride home. Throughout the whole car ride she was making detailed plans for me to spend Christmas with her and her extended family. Okay. When she got home, she told me how much she loved me and that she wants to move in and change her job so that she can be with me. I have met this person once. Now I don't know how to tell her that I'm a bit uncomfortable seeing her anymore. She seemed nice enough, but she came on super strong. I'm too kind to ghost completely and have absolutely no idea how the hell to deal with this. TLDR, got horny, met a Redditor, had sex, she declared her love for me on the first date and now seems to be obsessed with me. Told me she is mentally unstable and that she wants to be with me forever. Apparently plans have been made for me to meet her family and spend Christmas with them, FML. Edit, holy shit, this blew up. When I finish my workday I'll write an update and do my best to respond to the comments. P.S. I'm afraid of being murdered. Edit number 2, okay, let me start by saying that 1. She was pushing me for sex. Not the other way around. She was the one that initiated physical contact and pushed from there. 2. She wasn't telling me these things in a way that would have given me a reason to think she wasn't of sound mind. She was saying these things too casually. It seemed like she was telling me these things because she wanted to test my tolerance. Also, please note that she didn't only talk about when she was raped, self-harm and her ongoing struggles with mental illness. She spent the whole time talking about all kinds of innocuous stuff that I haven't mentioned in my post, while only casually segueing into the subjects I described above. If I hadn't been drinking, I probably would have been like a deer in the headlights and noped the fuck out, but of course, that wasn't how it went down. Instead, I let her continue pushing me and trying to get me in the mood, and she ultimately succeeded. What she had said didn't really sink in right away, it was only during the act that I started to realize how big a mistake this truly was. Not long after we started, my schlong went soft as I thought more about it. I was unable to perform. Don't get me wrong. I know this was a monumental fuck up, which is precisely why I posted it in r/tifu in the first place. Edit number 3, please stop saying don't stick your dick in crazy, it's been said 1,000 times already. Edit number 4, please stop asking me is her name _____________. I'm not going to share her name. Fuck off. Edit number 5, okay guys and gals, the night is winding down and it's getting dark. I've gotten about a dozen messages from her asking if she can come over. I have not responded because I don't know what to do or say. If I don't provide an update, then shit got real. Edit number 6. I decided to stay at a hotel for the night just to play it safe. Neighbor just texted me telling me that there is someone that has gone to my door and knocked on it a few times. Apparently a letter was left taped to my door. I'm not home and my neighbor is afraid to touch it. Edit number 7. On my way home, we'll open the letter when I get there. Edit number 8. Part 2, update. TIFU by flushing my kidneys, by user Fireblade09. Obligatory, it didn't happen today, happened over the last few weeks. TLDR, had the bright idea to drink a grotesque amount of water daily. Flushed all the sodium out of my system and had a miserable month of GI issues. A few weeks ago, I saw an interview on ESPN about Kevin Love's diet, and he mentioned that he tried to drink his weight in fluid ounces every day of water. I play basketball often and am trying to clean up my diet, so I immediately thought, wow, what a fantastic idea. I should try that. I invested in a 52 ounces water bottle and tried to drink it 4 times daily. What followed was the worst month of my life so far as GI issues. I felt like shit all the time. I lost a ton of weight because my appetite was totally gone. I had awful cramps almost nightly. I'd spend several hours on the toilet every day either peeing or trying to shit out my cramps. I couldn't drink any alcohol without throwing up, so going out with friends was totally out of the question. Basketball became unbearable. I'd sweat bullets anytime I was slightly warm, really grossing everyone out. I couldn't sleep well because I always woke up in pools of sweat. I always felt full, my eyes felt like they were about to pop out of my head constantly. It was awful. I felt very, very sick all the time. I had heard of water intoxication, but I assumed that took like several gallons in a short period of time. So, I kept up my routine for the entire month. I should also mention that I hate water. I would typically chug the water bottle as fast as I could to get it over with. I was ingesting a lot of water, very quickly, over an extended period of time. Genius. Finally I go to the doctor. I explain what's going on and my doc immediately starts ordering all kinds of tests, very worried about some kind of stomach cancer, Crohn's, celiac, ulcers, etc. My doc knows me well and an all-around great guy, so he knows something is definitely wrong. I'm a little freaked at this point, calling my mom, thinking about taking a semester off college, so mentally exhausted of feeling terrible all the time. It was rough. Doc sees I'm a little panicked and noticed my sweat dildo-sized water bottle hanging on my backpack. He says something about how well hydrated I must be. I laugh and proudly tell him I drink it 4 times a day. He laughs at first, then looks at me. Wait, are you serious? Yup. For how long? Oh, a few weeks. When was the last time you drank Gatorade or ate something salty? Oh, I don't know. A while, I guess. Doctor looks at me with sheer disbelief at my stupidity. You flushed out all of your sodium, dumbass. Go drink some Gatorade and eat some salty popcorn. A 6-pack of Gatorade and a few days of only a few glasses of water a day, I'm back to perfectly healthy. For fuck's sake. TIFU by answering the phone and telling someone my dad died, by user deadface3405. TIFU, by answering the house phone showing an unknown number asking for my stepdad. Now for some context here, even after his death last October, 2020, we receive several telemarketer and scam calls asking for him, so when I answered I didn't think it would be anyone we knew. After answering the phone, and assuming it was a telemarketer, I bluntly and coldly said to the caller, "Oh, he dead," and hung up. They called back 30 seconds later and explained they were a close friends of his and someone I had actually met and who had gone to their house before and had dinner and were pretty close over the years. Turns out that this was someone who had become a close friends with my stepdad while he was going through chemo at the same time as this caller's wife. The reason he didn't know up until now that my stepdad had passed away is because he was trying to reach my stepdad's number, which is no longer in service, and eventually found the house number which he ultimately used to get to me. I immediately felt mortified and apologized profusely over and over. He understood and said it was okay, but I could not help but feel like a total asshole for the blunt, unfeeling way I declared his death. Now I just want to abstain from answering any phone ever. TLDR, told a man one of his closest friends died and hung up on him. TIFU by having a horny Reddit hookup, Part 3, by user 55747335534676. For those who haven't seen my previous posts, here is Part 1 and Part 2. She has been blowing up my phone all day now. I've gotten dozens of messages from her demanding a response, threatening me with messages like I'm pregnant and this is our problem now, but given what people have said in the previous thread, it's impossible that her HCG levels would be high enough to test positive on store-bought pregnancy test within 12 days of conception. I decided that it would be best not to engage. I figured that if I stay committed to ghosting, she'll lose interest and find some other poor sucker to take in all of her craziness. I think I'm wrong. There are no signs of this stopping. I admire her commitment to trying to talk to me, but holy fucking shit, have some self-respect and take a clue, Jesus Christ. In the afternoon she ended up calling me from a blocked number, and I answered it without thinking. She immediately got aggressive and confrontational and started threatening me with showing up again and making a spectacle in front of my neighbors. It's as if she thinks that this kind of behavior is somehow going to win me over. I told her not to, and warned her that if she shows up again or leaves any notes or packages for me, I'll call the police. I also told her that I wasn't interested in continuing to communicate with her. Her tone dramatically changed. She started apologizing and begging me to talk to her and work it out. I repeated myself, as I felt it needed to be clear that the sex we had was a one-time mistake that I had zero intention of repeating. In between the apologizing/crying phase of the phone call, I urged her to seek out appropriate help. She then got hyper-aggressive again, same thing over again, threats, shouting, screaming, and I'm pregnant and you can't do this, all that wild shit. Honestly, I don't know why I didn't just hang up right away. On some level, I thought that if I made a concerted effort to calm her down, she'd be receptive to what I was saying. Nope. Everything I said seemed to go through one ear and out the other. There is no reasoning with this woman. She was fucking hysterical and unwilling to listen or acknowledge anything I was saying. She seems only interested in screaming, crying, and attempting to manipulate me, and I'm not having any of that. I hung up on her and ignored the follow-up calls. Her problems are severe, and I'm not emotionally or professionally equipped to help her resolve them. It is very obvious now that this woman has a severe case of bipolar disorder, and possibly other psychological problems that I'm unqualified to diagnose. As a person with very limited exposure to people with these kinds of issues, her intensity, anger, and rapidly changing emotions were kind of scary. The last few messages have been more threats and attempts at manipulation. I've ignored them. At this point, I'm just hoping she doesn't come back here to stir up more shit. When I have a chance, I'll file a report with the police. If anything changes, I'll provide an update. Forgot to mention, she didn't directly threaten bodily harm, but given how she behaved on the phone, I wouldn't rule it out. If she tries to physically harm me, I will defend myself. TLDR, crazy woman. I had a one-night stand with, claims she's pregnant, but the chances of this are statistically improbable. Tried to manipulate me, threatened to show up at my house. Waiting and hoping that she doesn't. Edit, to all of you people sending me messages telling me I'm a POS, fuck off. You don't know what it's like dealing with an unstable person. It's easy to say that you should just done this. But it doesn't quite work that way. Also, I have zero obligation to commit endless amounts of my time to helping her resolve her mental problems. I don't wish to, and it's not my issue to resolve. I came into this looking for a hookup, not a therapist role play. This woman is a fucking lunatic. Edit number 2, shout out to the girl that decided to send me nudes for some reason. 10/10. Keep 'em coming. Winky face. Edit number 3, holy shit, a lot more nudes have come my way, thanks for all the nudes ladies. You've brightened my day. Feel free to keep 'em coming. Edit number 4, thanks to all the people sending me messages of support. I know that there are a lot of PMs that I haven't gotten to. I'll do my best to respond to them when I can. Wishing you all well.